Transition, the process of change from one condition to another.
We are now at a new crossroad where change is evident once again.
What does not serve us must transform us anew.
Returning to our original state of oneness and true nature of that which created who we truly are.
Confusion was the way of the past. Enlightenment is the way of the now and future, shedding away the layers of deceit.
We now bring you the transformation of the two who started as one. Our fearless planet never stands still.
Earth has been in a process of transition, and we are not exempt from this remarkable ongoing reality.
Welcome to Transition Radio.
Hello, welcome to our live podcast here in New Mexico. My name is Mark Angelo.
And I'm Lynna Ariel, and we're the Cummings.
And we are.
And we have a great show for you guys tonight. Lots of information.
Exactly, and it's Transition Radio Show, which I forgot to say because I was doing the little, see, we got this new little welcome sign, see it? Right there.
Look at that.
Yeah, and then we also got this other sign that goes, like and subscribe.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah. So welcome to all of those. We have Facebook streaming live. We also have, what's that other? Twitch and YouTube. Twitch, yes. Hopefully we sound
We're not
okay.
gamers, but...
No, we're not, but, they do stream live.
Yeah.
So hopefully everything sounds good and looks good. We've been trying to work through all sorts of different things here, but trying to get better.
We've got so many, ideas, and we're spending a lot of time researching and looking at how to make the show better, how to make it more informative. And today's show is especially dedicated to all of our trans brothers and sisters out there who are feeling the pain.
Yes.
The real assault on our existence.
I never thought that, this would happen. I transitioned in 2003, and it was difficult then because it was relatively new. It was hard to navigate through getting documents and all that stuff, but everything worked itself out. Managed to get a lot of allies, and we'll talk a lot about all the different stuff.
And we wanted to put a disclaimer out there to say that, we appreciate anybody who's an ally to the trans community, and we see you as our family. And we wanted to let you know that some of the information that we're going to present tonight is specifically geared towards the trans community. And I would encourage you not to turn it off, but to listen and hear the stories that we have to share. Listen to our heart and our testimony. And, maybe you can, if you're doubting, if you're a person that just has so many questions about transgender and, transsexuals or what that is all about and children and all of that. We have a very impactful show for you tonight. And we're going to go back into the archives as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Mark, I have to be honest with you. It's been a heavy week. I was sitting on the porch this morning, just looking out at the tree line, trying to drink my coffee, trying to find a moment of peace. And I realized I couldn't find it. I mean, that feeling before a thunderstorm breaks, when the air gets thick, when the birds stop singing and everything goes quiet and I'm like electric. That's what it feels like to be transgender in America right now.
It does, and it feels like the barometer has dropped.
I mean, I made the mistake of opening my phone first thing this morning. Mistake number one, right? And it was just noise, wall-to-wall noise. I saw the pundits screaming on the news channels. I saw the politicians drafting laws, not just one or two, but like hundreds of them, targeting bathrooms, targeting sports, targeting IDs. I saw pastors standing in pulpits, holding Bibles, preaching about delusion and, of course, demons.
Of course.
It feels like there's a coordinated massive effort to just erase us, to make it so difficult, so painful, so bureaucratic to exist that we just give up and disappear.
And it feels like a war, Lynna. And I don't use the word lightly. I'm not trying to be dramatic for the show. I'm speaking facts here. When you have the entire machinery of the state, the laws, the media, the church, all turning their guns towards a group of people that make up less than 3% of the population, what else do you call it? It's a siege.
It is a siege. I mean, I think a lot of people listening right now are like scared. And the people that are gonna watch.
Right.
I've seen the messages in our inbox this week. I've seen the DMs. Lynna, should I leave the state? Mark, should I detransition just to be safe? Is there a future for us? And Mark, it breaks my heart. I mean, to hear our people, our beautiful, resilient community of people asking if they should go back into the dark just to survive. Because that fear, that is exactly what they want. They want you trembling. They want you hiding.
But here's the thing they don't understand about us, though. They think because we're small in numbers that we're weak. They think because we're new to the public eye, because Time magazine put Laverne Cox on the cover a few years ago, that we are this fragile modern trend. They think they can just blow on us and we'll blow away like a dandelion seed.
Well, they have no idea, do they?
No.
I mean, see, that's the narrative we're going to dismantle tonight. They say that we are a modern problem. They say we're confused. They call us a trend. But Mark and I are here to tell you, history calls us gatekeepers. History calls us alchemists. We are not a glitch in the system. We are a feature. We have been here since the first fire was lit in the first cave. We have been here in the temples of Rome. We have been here in the tribes of the Americas, and we will be here long after these politicians are dust.
Tonight we're doing something different on the show. Usually we react to the news, we talk about this bill or that tweet, but tonight we're turning off the news. We're going to open the archives. We're going to go back thousands of years. We're going to look at biology. We're going to look at theology, and we're going to look at history. And welcome, Zeno 9848, new sub. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining us. Tonight's show is titled Transgender. They called us a trend. History calls us gatekeepers and alchemists. And notice the gate, because that is what you are. You are not a patient, and you are not a victim. You are an alchemist, right? An alchemist is someone who takes lead, heavy, dark, poisonous lead, and transmutes it into gold. That's what every single trans person has done. You took the lead of your dysphoria, the lead of your pain, you turned it off into gold of your true self. And tonight, we are going to give you the manual on how to survive this war.
We have so much to cover tonight. This is going to be a masterclass. We're going to talk about the Mishio Kushi and the science of energy. We're going to look at the Gnostic Gospels, the texts that were buried in the desert for 2,000 years that explain exactly why you feel like an alien on this planet. We're going to look at Manly P. Hall and the Lonely Ones. And that's what I used to tell people all the time. I must be from Mars when I was growing up, and I didn't have words to understand what was happening to me. Why was I so different? Why did I feel so strange?
And there's so many in our community that feel that way. And we're gonna get personal. There may be tear shed in this show because we dug into the vault, guys. We found footage of Mark from 2006, almost laughingly, right?
Yeah,
already
20
years ago on the Maury Povich show. And you want to talk about hostile environments? You think Twitter or X is bad? Try being a trans man on daytime TV in 2006.
Yeah.
You're going to hear Mark stand his ground, and it's going to give you the chills.
We're also going to play some music. We're going to talk about the Frankenstein, quote unquote, myth. We're going to lay it all out.
So if you're driving, keep your eyes on the road, but open your heart. If you are at home, maybe even grab a notebook, because tonight It's not just entertainment, and it's armor, right?
Yep.
Let's get into it. I want to start with the tools, the science.
Right.
Because one of the biggest weapons used against us is this idea of biology. You hear it all the time. You go to Thanksgiving dinner, and that one uncle says, it's basic biology, XX and XY. You can't change nature. They scream science at us like it's a slur. But Mark, when you actually look at the deep science, not the third grade biology books, but the cutting edge neuroscience and genetics, a story, well, that's completely different.
And it is. And honestly, Lynna, the medical model we use today is failing us. If you go to a doctor for transition care, what happens? They treat you like a broken car. Okay, the testosterone tank is low. Let's fill it up. This part is the wrong shape. Let's cut it off. It's very mechanical. It's very Western. It assumes that the body is just a machine and you are the unhappy driver.
But we know that it's deeper than that. Yep. We need to talk about Michio Kushi. Now, for the younger listeners, you might not know that name, but Michio Kushi was a titan. He was the father of modern macrobiotics. In 1999, he was so respected that he was invited to address the United States Congress. Imagine that, a holistic healer talking to the government. And his core teaching was this: the body is not a machine. The body is spirit descending into matter.
Spirit descending into matter. Let's chew on that for a second. If you believe that, then you realize that the body isn't a static thing. It is energy. It is vibration. Kushi taught that we are the architects of our own vessels. Think about an architect. When an architect walks into an old house and says, I'm going to move this wall, I'm going to add a window here to let the light in, are they mutilating the house? No, they are renovating it. They are aligning the structures to the needs of the family living inside.
Wow, that is such a beautiful way to put it. When I transitioned, I remember people telling me, you are ruining your body. And I thought, no, I'm renovating it. I'm fixing the windows because I couldn't see out. I mean, I had my breast augmentation surgery and I was smiling under anesthesia.
Yeah.
The doctor told me. Kushi would say we are re-architecting the vibration. We are taking a vessel that felt discordant, like a radio tuned between stations like the old days in your car, just static and noise, and we're tuning it until the signal comes through loud and clear.
And this isn't just philosophy. This connects to Dr. Ibrahim Karim. He's an architect and scientist from Egypt who founded a field called biogeometry. He spent decades studying ancient temples like pyramids and the cathedrals, trying to figure out why they felt so holy. Why, when you walk into Chartres Cathedral, you suddenly feel quiet. And he discovered a principle: shape creates energy.
Shape creates energy. He found that certain shapes create a specific energy quality he calls BG3. It is the vibration of the center. It is the vibration of balance. Now, apply that to dysphoria. Mark, before you transition, before you change the shape, what did it feel like in your body? It didn't feel like peace. It felt like this.
Yeah, that's why I wrote The Mirror Makes No Sense. Stop it. Just stop it.
I'm trying. I'm smiling. Look, I'm smiling. The smile is a lie. The skin is a lie.
If I just ignore it, if I just work harder, the noise will stop.
The noise isn't in the room. The noise is the shape of your soul hitting the shape of this body.
Then how do I fix the shape?
You don't fix it. You break it and you build it again. Now stop. That's the next one.
That noise, that crack, that isn't a metaphor, Lynna. That is the sound of the brain map not matching the body. And for years, they told us it was all in our heads. But now, the science actually backs us up.
It does. I mean, we need to talk about the two-timing theory. Bet you never heard of that one, right?
Uh-uh.
Biologists have confirmed that the development of the genitals happens in the first trimester, weeks 6 to 12. That is when the X or Y instruction kicks in and builds the hardware.
But the sexual differentiation of the brain, what happens much later? In the second trimester, they are two completely separate events. They happen weeks apart. So imagine this. In week 8, you get a wash of testosterone. Bam! The body builds male genitalia. But then something changes. Maybe the mother's in stress. Maybe there's a chemical shift in the womb. By week 20, when the brain is being built, the testosterone wash is gone or it's blocked. So the brain is built with a female architecture.
So you're born with a male body and a female brain. And that isn't a mistake. It isn't a delusion.
No.
It's a time capsule. You are living record of a chemical shift that happened between weeks 8 and week 20 of your gestation. And that is biological fact.
And to back that up, look at the work of the V.S. Ramachandran. He's one of the most famous neuroscientists in the world. He did a study on trans men, guys like me, born in female bodies who had not had surgery yet. And he found that over 60% of them reported feeling a phantom penis.
Now, phantom limbs are usually something you feel after you lose an arm. In a war, your brain remembers the arm, but these men, they were born without it. I mean, how can they have a phantom limb for a part that they've never had?
Because the map was there. The brain map for the male body part was laid down in the second trimester. The body just didn't match the map. So when trans people say, I feel like I should have had this body part, they are not imagining it. Their brain is literally pinging a server that isn't plugged in.
That, oh my gosh, that gives me chills. Pinging a server that isn't plugged in. That's the definition of dysphoria. And yet, when we try to explain this, when we try to get help, we don't get validation, we get gatekeeping.
And we get made fun of because, you know, I know the rad films, feeling like it's something that's like your brain emits certain emotions and feelings and connection, like the phantom limb and like the phantom genitalia that did not occur, but the pathway is there. So we walk into a doctor's office armed with this truth and we hit a wall. It is usually sounds something like this.
So, you want to change your gender?
I want to correct my body.
It says that you have a history of depression. Are you sure you aren't just confused?
I'm depressed because I'm in the wrong vessel.
We need 3 letters. We need a psych eval, and we need to make sure that you aren't making a mistake. This is permanent, you know.
Living a lie is permanent too. If you die in it, I mean, seriously.
We can treat the symptoms, maybe some antidepressants.
I don't need a pill. I need a chisel. I am the architect. Give me the hammer.
I mean, this is the real stuff.
Yeah, and it's like people just don't understand. And it's become a lot easier, and now it's getting harder again, but back in the day, you know, there weren't that many gender specialists.
No.
You literally had to find a needle in a haystack. And like the doctors that performed the procedure at the Cleveland Clinic, I was like, I came from another planet. They were willing to do it because doctors will do whatever for money, but they're like, well, we need this letter, and everything's so mechanical, so like not human.
Yeah, no.
So give me the hammer. That is the spirit of the alchemist. We take the tools into our own hands.
And we haven't even touched on the mosaic brain. I mean, Dr. Daphna Joel, this study rocked the scientific world. She looked at 1,400 MRI scans. She was trying to find the male brain and the female brain. She wanted to prove there were, you know, distinct boxes, and she failed.
Well, because they don't exist. She found that almost every single human brain is a mosaic, a patchwork quilt. You might have a male amygdala and a female hippocampus. We're all a mix. The idea of a binary brain is a myth.
So the Rebbe, the alchemical union of male and female, it's not just a mystical symbol. It's literally inside your skull right now. And that's something you were talking about earlier.
The different left and right hemispheres, like when we were originally, before we got created, we were both male and female in one. But the remnants is that we have a left and right hemisphere.
Yeah.
You know, that's, and again, even the remnants of having men, if you're a man, you have the nipples. And if you look at your sac, it has a line. I mean, there's just so many things. But trans people are just the ones who are aware of the mosaic. We are the ones who looked at the quilt and said, hey, this pattern doesn't match the label you put on the box.
So when you walk out the door tomorrow and you feel that that wind of hate, that war we talked about, put on this armor. You are not confused. You are a time capsule of the second trimester. You are a mosaic. You are an architect, and you are backed by the deepest science we have. So we've established the science. We know that your brain is a mosaic. We know your DNA has a unique code, but now we have to go deeper. Let's dig, because the war we're fighting isn't just about biology. If this were just about biology, they would treat us like a medical anomaly. They would say, oh, interesting, your brain map is different. And they would move on, but they don't move on. They obsess.
They treat us like a moral threat. They scream from the pulpits. They call us an abomination. They say we are defying God. And that is the heaviest weapon they have, Lynna. You can argue science all day, but when someone points a finger at you, especially if it's a parent or a pastor you grew up trusting, and says, God hates you, or you are a mistake, the lands in the soul, it burns. I know so many people listening right now carry the wound. You grew up in the church.
Yeah.
You loved God. And then the people who claim to speak for God threw you out.
I was one of them. I mean, I've talked about this before, but I was deep in that world. I grew up in Christianity. I grew up under a church pew at the age of 5, you know, and I was the one holding the stone. I thought I was defending the order. But Mark, what if the God they're defending, what if he's not the real God?
That is the question that changes everything. We did some digging, Lynna, and we went back way before the King James Bible. We went back to the texts that were buried in the Egyptian desert for nearly 2,000 years before years, because the church was terrified of them. We are talking about the Gnostic Gospels.
Now, specifically, we want to talk about the secret book of John. Now, if you go to a standard Sunday school, they will tell you the story of Genesis. What is it? God made man, man sinned, man fell, and now we're broken sinners who need to obey. It's a story of crime and punishment. But the Gnostics, thank God, I guess, I don't know, source, that they had a completely different story. And when we read it, we cried, because it explains the trans soul like to a T.
Break it down for us. Who is the God of the Gnostics?
So, we've talked about this in the show before, but this is very specific to this topic. The Gnostics believe that the God of this world, the one who gets angry, who demands obedience, who creates rigid rules like thou shalt not, was actually a lesser being. They called him the demiurge, Yaldabaoth. He is a craftsman. He created the material world, this heavy, dense binary world, as sort of a limitation, a shadow. He wants us to believe that his rules are the only rules, and he wants us to believe that we are his slaves.
But above him, infinitely above him, there is something else. The Gnostic called it the monad, the true source, the unknowable light. And here's the kicker. Folks, listen closely. The text describes the monad as being beyond gender. It is not a he, it is not a she. It is the silence that contains both, and it is infinite, and it doesn't have a name. And that's how you know that the God of the Bible is full of BS, because the original God said, I am. There's no name. You can't put a label on it. He's infinite.
Don't stand up because the cameraman's not here.
Okay.
Think about that. If the true God, the monad, is beyond gender and we are sparks of that light, then our souls are beyond gender too.
Of course.
The church wants you to worship the male God.
Yep.
They want to trap you in the demiurge's binary box. But when a trans person says, I'm not just a man, or I'm not just a woman, or I'm something else entirely, we are not confused. We are remembering the monad. We are remembering our true shape before we got stuffed into these little meat suits.
Exactly. And the text, the secret book of John, it completely flips the script on why we are here. The church says we are here because Adam sinned. We are being punished. But the Gnostics tell the story of Sophia, wisdom. She didn't fall because she was evil. She descended into the messy, chaotic world because she was curious. She wanted the light to know itself.
This is my favorite part. The text says, the fall was never about sin. It was about curiosity, compassion, and the courage to enter shadow so that light could understand itself. Mark, that is the Alchemist mission. We didn't come here to suffer. We came here to be mirrors. The text says you are the mirror she placed inside creation, the eye through which the universe studies itself.
The eye through which the universe studies itself. Let's apply that to transition. When you look in the mirror before you transition, what do you see? You see a mask. You see the demiurge lie. You are a girl, or you are a boy. But when you start to transition, when you cut your hair or take hormones or change your name, you're polishing the mirror. You are scrubbing away the lie so that the monad can see itself clearly in your face.
Yes, that is why it feels so holy when we finally click it into place. It isn't vanity, it's revelation. But getting to that revelation, facing that God of dogma, well, that's terrifying. And it feels like this. God, please take this away.
You are a man of God. You have a duty. You have a role.
I'm trying to do the role. I'm holding the stone, but it's crushing me.
The feeling is a test. The feeling is a demon. Rebuke it.
I have rebuked it until my throat bled. It's not leaving.
Then you aren't praying hard enough.
Or maybe you aren't listening hard enough.
What did you say?
I said, what if this isn't a demon? What if this is me?
What if this is me? That is the dangerous question. That is the moment of the system attacks. We talk about the wheat and the tares.
Back in 2019, I did a live stream about this. The parable says an enemy planted weeds, tares, that look exactly like wheat, but they are empty inside. They are husks.
Rudolf Steiner called them the empty humans. He said there are beings who walk among us who lack the eye, the divine spark. They are vessels for the system. They are the tares.
And I know this sounds harsh. I know it sounds judgmental to say some people don't have souls.
They don't.
But look at the world right now. Look at the comments section on any trans news story. I dare you. The cruelty, the absolute lack of empathy. I mean, seriously.
I know.
It is ongoing and never ending. The robotic repetition of talking points, biological male, mutilation, groomer. It doesn't feel like a human being is talking to you. It feels like a program.
And they are programmed. It feels like the demiurge speaking through a human mouth. Steiner said this: empty humans are here to maintain the matrix. They are here to enforce the rules. And here is the hard truth. Trans people are the wheat. We have to be, because you don't blow up your entire life just to play dress up. You do it because the spark inside you is so hot, so bright, that it burns through the shell.
We are the ones who couldn't stay asleep. I mean, we found another Gnostic concept called the memory wipe. The idea is that when you die, The archons try to wipe your memory so you forget you're divine. They want to recycle you. And society does the same thing. A baby is born, the doctor looks at the genitals and stamps a label boy or girl. That's the first layer of the wipe. They are telling you who you are so you forget who you really are.
But the wipe didn't work on us. That is the definition of being trans. Despite the body, despite the parents, something deep inside us said, no. I remember something else. I remember a different shape.
We are the glitch in the memory wipe. Dysphoria isn't a mental illness. It is the memory of the monad breaking through the programming.
And that is why they hate us. It's not because we're sinners. It's because we are proof that the system failed. But when you tell them this, when you tell even your best friends who you are, they recite the script. They tell you that you are broken. It feels like this. Man, it's been too long. Bible college seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, hey, do you remember that Halloween back in high school? We walked around the Mall of Orange.
Well, yeah, I was a pirate. I raided my brother's clown closet for the sash.
Do you remember what I wore?
How could I forget? You wore a French maid outfit with that wig and everything. I always thought that was an odd choice for you, Paul.
It wasn't a choice, John. And it wasn't a costume.
What?
Well, that night, that was the first time I ever looked in a mirror and I actually saw me. John, I'm transgender. I've known my whole life.
Paul, this is not going to a good place. Do you know what this will do? You have a wife, you have a reputation, you work in ministry. Why would you throw all that away for a dress?
I'm not throwing it away, John. I'm trying to save my own life.
You fed it, Paul. You sinned and you fed the thought, and now you're going to have to live with the consequences. You're going to have to walk with a limp for the rest of your life. The enemy has a foothold on you now.
A limp? Really? John, I've been limping for 40 years trying to be the man that you wanted me to be. And everyone else. I'm done limping. Why would I walk with a limp when I can soar like an eagle? You can go back to us.
Why walk with a limp when I can soar like an eagle? That is the question. They want us to limp. They want us crippled by shame.
You know, that was a real story that happened in my life. And that was what I told my friend. I said, I was so elated. My happiness, my joy, my fulfillment was so like I could finally breathe. You know, you feel like you're under a heavy weight. And when you finally are able to say how you feel to someone that you've known for years,
something that you've kept deep inside.
Yeah, something that's
hidden.
Been so like personal. Like, oh man, God and I are going to die with this one because I won't let, I can't forsake God and, whatever. But we refuse to limp. And Mark, you've been refusing to limp for a long time. And we have proof of this. We want to play a clip from 2006. Now, realize the context. This was before the word transgender was even spoken. This was the era of Jerry Springer. And if you guys want to take a look on YouTube and dig up Jerry Springer and Maury Povich, you'll find some crazy shows. Because the goal of these shows back then was like to bring out the freaks and have this like audience laugh at them. They wanted to use Mark like as a tear. They wanted to show him like a joke. But watch what happens when a soul that is fully actualized walks into a room of a bunch of full empty humans.
Okay, let me cue here.
This is really good.
on. Wait a second.
Can you go to the link to play it?
Yeah, I can. But where did it go? Oh, it's here.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow, I forgot that you had met each other.
It's
Oops.
not.
It's not showing.
What does this mean? Does this mean that you were looking for a woman? Were you?
Hold on a second. Bear with us, guys. We're trying to get
A little
this
technical
done.
difficulty here, but we're going to figure this out.
If I remove that one, though.
So that moment was like a moment that really inspired a lot of people back in 2006, because I remember that people would tell you years later, you know, you inspired me.
Why isn't it playing?
I watched you on the show. I saw that you like gave your testimony and you spoke your truth.
There we go.
We appreciated it.
Okay, so I have to go here.
I mean, what was going on there?
I liked women. I liked masculine women, like Mark was at the time. And I saw him. I laid eyes on him at the gym, and I fell in love with him.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that.
So you
Mark.
basically didn't see gender?
No, not at all.
Love has no color or gender.
Right.
Ah,
You love from the heart, and you love unconditionally.
okay. All right. So how's your intimate life?
It's wonderful. He's the best lover I've ever had.
Making love to a woman is that, making love. You're caressing. You become one.
Well, I'll tell you, I've learned a lot, and you're a great spokesman for this. I mean, this is quite remarkable.
I have a little
I'm
something.
still looking for, I'm telling you, I do this all the time. I mean, I'm sitting inches from this guy, and I'm looking for one little, that's the fraction of Maritza. I can't see a thing.
I have one important thing that I want to say, Maury. I want the viewers to know that being transgender is not a sin, a crime, nor deviant behavior. What it is hormonal imbalance, a birth defect that was created at 8 weeks gestation, where the brain and the body failed to communicate. Because of this birth defect, there are suicides, hate crimes, overall bigotry between religious groups. We are human beings with feelings, and all we ask is for respect, to be able to mend our birth defects and to have doctors involved and help us along in our disease to make us whole again. Remember this, God created all living creatures, and as part of one of God's greatest creation, I stand before you all and plead. Please stop hating and start understanding. Open up your hearts and your minds and realize that we are God's children too. Amen.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you coming. It's been terrific. Thank you very much, Violet. Nice to meet you. We'll be back right after.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sends chill
I
bumps.
was born
Oh,
a female
I mean-
named Maritza. I am now a man named Mark. I hated everything I saw. I even tried marrying a man.
Oh, there we go. This thing is just not easy to.
No,
Because I
but
have too many things.
we're doing what
open.
we can.
Yeah,
to make
let's
it
go
happen.
Back here.
Start understanding.
Yeah.
Mark, sitting here today, listening to the younger version of yourself, much younger, what do you feel? I mean, really, that moment must have been such a marker in your life.
I was scared. I was excited because I knew there was so much that I wanted to say and so much that I wanted to bring forth to educate people, because I hardly knew anybody that was trans back then, but I knew that if I put myself out there, that other people would listen, and I was so glad that I was able to speak out and be on a show that was a well-known show. I mean,
It was. I watched that show at home. It was Maury Povich, and then whenever he had something about trans people, or there was drag queens and all this stuff, I would look it up and watch it. I would record. I remember recording an episode of Jenny Jones about a trans woman who was going to have her surgery in Thailand at the time. She said she was going to pay $5,000, and literally, I recorded it on a video 8 tape. I don't know if you remember that format.
Yeah.
And I put an X on it so that I could remember what that tape was, so that nobody could ever find it.
Wow.
Because I didn't want anybody to know how I felt.
Yeah, it was a crazy thing. My family was very unhappy that I was going to be so public because they wanted me to like keep it hush hush. But I
They were
figured,
embarrassed.
yeah, totally. But I figure I need to put this educational piece out there. I need to educate people because that was my thing. It's like people, you know, they don't understand what's actually going on with us. They don't understand that it is an actual spiritual and a biological
Transformation.
Yeah, I mean,
it's alchemy.
It's alchemy, and they just don't understand it because they're so brainwashed with their black and white programming that they're taught from their religion, from, you know, the whole man and woman. You know,
I mean, at the time, were you spiritual then?
Yeah,
As far as like, you know, an understanding of source. I mean, did you feel that the monad was helping you in that moment? I mean,
well, I was very spiritual. I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and my grandmother instilled a lot of dogma, but I didn't want to believe in that dogma. So I reached out from a very young age to source, the universe, the monad. I didn't know that was the name at the time, but I always had a good connection with my higher self.
so like when you were in the prep room, like the green room and stuff, and you're like, you're gonna, because I'm coming from a live television background. I know how that feels. You're going to go live on air. It's going to be broadcast to millions of people. Did you do something like to prepare yourself for the moment? I mean, did that speech just come offhand?
I had a few ideas that I wanted to actually put out there. First, the educational piece, and then appeal to those that were so hateful towards me, because I used to get a lot of hate, you know, especially from Christians.
Oh yeah,
Christians, they have a special kind of love, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know how that goes.
And they're so dogmatic. I mean, I haven't even paid any attention to, what's her name, Mariah, but she's been like, I could feel it. I could feel the energy.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
that's just,
You know,
that's just the
the nature of the
signs of the
beast. I mean,
times.
they don't have a brain.
Yeah, but
they're programmed.
you know what though? I hope that Mariah just sits and listens instead of
But
spouting.
they can't. They love to spout.
I know, but
Yeah.
I hope that she can like just listen and hear us out. Give us a moment of your time without judging it, because once you find out more about what's going on, maybe it'll
I don't know what's happened to this.
maybe it'll change your mind or something, or maybe it'll encourage you to do some research of
But
your
they
own.
see-
No, I know, but we have a whole show to do, so we don't have time to spend on Mariah.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean?
No, but I'm just giving you an
you know.
example that, like Mariah, that's all I've ever heard from the moment I transitioned. And it was always the Christians.
Well, it's usually people that feel bad that they can't be who they want to be.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, who are the people that are accusing people of being PDFs? You know,
Yeah.
they're the Christians that
Yeah.
are like,
They're the
you
ones that
know,
get caught.
the senators that get caught looking at porn on their computer
Yeah.
during a Congress. I mean, who gets caught in the middle of state business or national business
Right.
on their computer looking at porn? I mean, and then they have the gall to say that we're the groomers, you know, when they're the ones who are in charge of the PDF rings.
Right.
So, but you stood tall. I mean, you stood up. I
Oh,
remember. I'm sure. I could see it because the
Yeah.
cameraman,
And
you
I-
caught him off guard.
Yeah,
because he
'cause it-
like had
yeah.
to pull out, and he was like, "Oh shit!" He's
Yeah, because
gonna-
I knew
Yeah.
I was, you know, I'm like, I have to take this time
Yeah.
to say what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I know they're not going to let me, so I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do my thing.
Maury's not the easiest guy.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, that guy, he's a bulldog.
Yeah, he is.
Whenever
But
he did his interviews
But I
in the
like,
past.
you know, when there was a point where he asked me, "What do you have? What's in your pants?" I said, "Do I ask you what's in your pants?"
Yeah, no.
You know, and it was like,
And you, like,
whoa.
shut him up.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
because he
'cause-
wanted to make a spectacle, and I turned the show into a teaching moment.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I mean, his wife is Connie Chung.
Yeah.
And he was a renowned interviewer. You
Yeah.
know, he could put people, he could get anything out of anyone.
Yep.
You know, but for every young person listening, for everyone who thinks this war started on X or Twitter 5 years ago before, what's his name took it over.
Yeah.
Look at the elders. We held the line in the Roman temples as Galli priests. We held the line in the indigenous tribes as two spirits. We held the line on Maury Povich in 2006. And we are going to hold the line now. So, I mean, we talked about science and we talked about theology. Not yet.
Not yet.
But I want to pause the history lesson for a moment. I mean, I want to talk about the feeling. I mean, you know the one I mean. It's that feeling you have had since you were 5, the ones that the rad femmes, pick on us about.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling that you just don't fit, that no matter how hard you try to integrate, no matter...
Oh, shoot. This thing is just going. Hold on. Let me...
Oh, no.
It's just hard to have 5,000 things here. Okay, we're back. Go ahead.
Okay, so no matter how well you learn the social codes, you feel like a stranger in a strange land.
It's a profound loneliness. It's not just, I don't have friends. You can be in a room full of people. People who love you. Even, and still feel like you're watching the world through a sheet of glass. And for a long time, psychiatry told us that was a disorder. They called it failure to adapt. They called it social anxiety. They medicated us for it. They told us if you just try harder to fit in, the loneliness will go away. But it never did it?
No, it never did. Because you know what? It wasn't a disorder. It was a design. We found a text by the great mystic Manly P. Hall that completely blew the lid off this for us. It's called The Lonely Ones. And when you read it, I mean, I felt like someone who had broken into my diary and read my literal soul. He argues that there's a specific lineage of human beings who were engineered to walk outside of society.
He says that the world we live in, this normal quote-unquote world, is basically a collective hallucination. It's a simulation of rules, roles, and expectations. Get a job, get married, buy a house, die. Most people, they accept that simulation. It's comfortable for them. They wear the mask society gives them, and they sleep soundly. But the lonely ones, their neutral architecture rejects the masks.
Hall writes this line that stopped me cold. For most, the strangeness is anesthetized by social conditioning. For you, the anesthesia didn't work. I want you to really hear that. The anesthesia didn't work. That's what gender dysphoria is. It's the realization that the numbing agent failed. You woke up in the middle of surgery. You looked around at the boy role or the girl role. They gave you this heavy, suffocating costume, and you said, this isn't real. This is a script, and I didn't write it.
And Hall identifies these people not as broken, but as the glitch. You are the systemic immune response to a fake world. Think about it. If the world is sick, if the world's obsessed with materialism and binary boxes and control, then a healthy person should feel like an outcast. Your loneliness is proof that you are healthy. It is proof that you haven't been infected by the tares.
He talks about the archetypes of the lonely one, and one of them is the maker of gods. He tells the story of a potter who realizes that the clay isn't fixed. It's malleable. Most people consume culture. They buy the gods that they are sold. But the lonely one creates. Mark, you said earlier in that video, we talked about, this is my creation. That is the work of the lonely one. You realize the clay of your body could be reshaped. You realize you had the right to build your own temple.
And the world hates that. Hall writes, the foolish laughed, said he was insane. Does that sound familiar? You're delusional. You're mentally ill. You're mutilating yourself. They call us insane because we stepped out of their shared dreams. But the potter knows the truth. The dream is the lie. The clay is the only real thing.
And there is another archetype he talks about, and that's the guardian of the light. He describes these people living on the mountaintops of perception. It's cold there. It's silent. It's lonely. But their job is simply to hold the light while the rest of the world sleeps in the valley.
We are the watchers. We see things about gender, about spirit, about freedom that the people in the valley can't see. But Hall says something that changed my life. He says, you are not trapped here. You are deployed here.
Deployed. That changes the whole game. I mean, you aren't a victim of a birth defect, and you are certainly not a mistake. You were deployed behind enemy lines. You are the memory keeper. Your loneliness, it isn't a bug. It's your security clearance, and it keeps you separate so you don't get corrupted by the empty humans.
But because we are the glitch, because we hold the light, the system tries to patch us out. It tries to delete us. And sometimes that deletion attempt comes from the people closest to us. It sounds like this.
So is that playing?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's after that. So we have to, okay. Oh, hey, I wanted to call you. I'm walking around the mall in Nashville right now.
Oh yeah? Working on a shoot?
No, just walking, being me. I needed to tell you this isn't a phase. This is who I am.
I don't understand. We've traveled the world together, brother. We filmed for the kingdom. We've been in the trenches.
I know, and I was there with you, but I was dying inside, and now I feel alive.
This isn't life. This is an attack. The enemy has a foothold.
A foothold? I'm shopping for shoes. I'm happy.
It's a delusion. It's a demonic stronghold. I have a file on my computer, a PDF. It's about breaking the strongholds of the mind. I'm going to email it to you. Read it, please, before it's too late.
I'm pouring my heart out to you after 20 years of working with you and doing things all around the world, and you're offering me a PDF.
I'm offering you deliverance.
I don't need deliverance right now. I just need a friend. Goodbye. It's sad.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to go to anything. You can come back to us. Can you go to a single?
I'm trying. This thing is
what
almost
happened?
There. I don't
It
know.
got so small.
I don't know.
I need a friend, right? Literally, at that moment in time, this guy that I knew, worked with. I mean, we'd been in the trenches together. I'd been doing things with him and getting like camera angles and shots for different videos that we did throughout the years, walking down into canyons, sweating together, running together, going to Israel. And I mean, and he offered me
PDF.
a PDF file. Literally, he gave me a PDF. That disconnect, that inability to see the human being standing right in front of them. Mariah, I want you to hear that.
Yeah.
That disconnect, that inability to see the human being, Mark and I, standing right in front of you. So that brings us to the war. And that brings us to the system. We have to pivot now. We have to talk about the war. Because if we're the glitch, the system is trying to patch us out. We have to ask the hard question tonight. Why? We are less than 3% of the population. We're so small of a minority, tiny. We're your neighbors, your baristas, your cousins. So why is the entire machinery of the empire turning against us?
It really doesn't make sense on paper, does it? Why is Donald Trump attacking us in every speech? Everything is trans everywhere. He talks about us more than he talks about the economy. Why are churches calling us demonic and groomers? Why is there actual talk in Washington of the federal government making lists of citizens who support the LGBTQ rights? Why mobilize an aircraft carrier to sink a rowboat?
It's not about the rowboat. Obviously, it's about what the rowboat represents.
Exactly.
It's the domino theory. They know something that maybe even we don't realize yet. That if they can break us, well, they can break anyone.
It's about leverage. Let's break it down. Look at the church first. Fundamentalist power structures. The ones screaming the loudest are built on a pyramid, a chain of command. God at the top, then men, then women, then child. That structure relies on those boxes being rigid. Man must be man. Woman must be woman. If those boxes are fluid, the pyramid collapses.
Exactly. I mean, when a trans person transitions, we're proving that the boxes are fragile. I mean, we're proving that biology is not destiny, and we're proving that the human spirit is stronger than their rules. If a man can become a woman, or if a person can reject both labels and be something else, then the authority loses its grip, it loses its mind, and they call it demonic because they're terrified of a human being who answers to their own soul instead of their pastor or their bishop.
We are the chaos agents in their order. And then look at the politics. Trump, the far-right movements, they are following a very old playbook. We call it the colonial playbook or the authoritarian playbook. Historically, whenever a leader wants to seize total power, they need an internal enemy. They need a monster.
They need a scapegoat. Think about the 30s. Think about the Red Scare in the 50s. The leader says, look at them. They are poisoning your blood. Literally. They are coming for your children. They do it to distract the masses. They want the public looking at us, the scary trans monster in your bathroom, so they don't notice who's actually looting the treasury right now.
Exactly. And targeting the smallest group, the 3%, is a strategic move. It looks like an easy win. They think we can crush them and no one will fight back. They're too small. They're too weird. And this talk of lists of making citizens as harmful, this is straight out of the McCarthy era. It is an attempt to terrify our allies. They want your mom, your brother, your boss to be too scared to stand next to you. They want to isolate the glitch so they can delete it.
But there is a third reason, and this one is spiritual. And I think this is the deepest reason of all. They attack us because we are the mirror. We talked about earlier about the empty humans, the tares, the people who are asleep in the matrix. These people live entirely in the external world. They do what they are told. They buy what they are sold. They're terrified of looking inside.
And then here comes a trans person. Here comes someone who looked deep inside, someone who faced the dark night of the soul, someone who found a truth that contradicted the entire world and had the guts to live it. That level of sovereignty, that level of agency, it makes the empty humans furious.
It literally enrages them.
Yeah.
I mean, they get ticked off.
Yeah. The fights I have online all the time.
I mean,
biology.
You're talking to someone in Great Britain and they're just like they don't want to put the hammer down.
No. It's like there's something.
Away.
And the funny thing is that this person was a very masculine looking female who probably would love to be able to transition, but can't or won't. Too fearful. So they attacked the person that did.
Yeah. But when they look at us deep down, because we had the guts, they see their own cowardice. They see someone who's free. And nothing angers a prisoner more than seeing someone walk out of the jail cell. They were too scared to leave. So when they call you delusional or, the irony, right? You're the one facing reality. You face the biological reality of your brain map. You face the spirituality of your own monad.
They aren't hunting us because we're weak, Lynna. They're hunting us because we are the loose thread. And they know if you pull us, the whole sweater unravels.
Mark, stop the clock. We've thrown so much information at the people tonight. Science, theology, politics, the Gnostics. But there's something in this room, something sitting right in this chair that we haven't fully acknowledged.
What's that?
History, embodied history. You've been in these trenches longer than almost anyone listening right now. You're on the national television in 2006. You were on Maury Povich. You were on Montel Williams. You were on
Miami Cristina.
You were on like the whole Spanish circuit. And you stood alone on a stage while an audience laughed at you. You were making documentaries when the word transgender wasn't even recognized by spell check.
I know.
You stood up when the rest of us were still terrified of our own shadows. So I'm asking you tonight, I'm yielding the floor to the elder statesman as someone who has watched the wheel turn all the way around. And you said it. How do we survive what's coming?
You have to be, you know, true to yourself. Lynna, I remember in 2006, and the biggest difference between then and now wasn't the hate. It was the silence. Back then, if you were trans in a small town, you didn't have Reddit, you didn't have hashtags, you thought you were the only one in the universe. You thought you were a singular mistake that got made on a Friday afternoon. When I went on the Maury Povich, yes, it was a freak show. They wanted to gawk at the bearded lady. But looking back, that came from ignorance. They poked us with sticks because they had truly never seen another human being like us.
But today, today, it feels different, Mark.
Today is entirely different because between then and now, something miraculous happened. We found each other. We connected. We shared our language. We realized we weren't mistakes. We realized we were a people, a tribe. And that, Lynna, that is what terrifies the system. The current attacks, the legislation, the coordinated media assaults, this isn't ignorance anymore. This is malice. This is a cold, calculated, mechanical attempt to break the community we built. I watch these pundits on TV now, and their eyes are dead. They feed on outrage. They're spiritually starving. Full of religion, but spiritually starving. And we, the trans community, we are vibrant. We feel deeply. We live authentically. We are the brightest thing on their radar because we are alive. They are energy vampires, Lynna. They're trying to feast on our light because they have run out of their own.
That is terrifying. But Mark, I keep thinking about something that happened a couple months ago. Do you remember at the Pride Festival?
I remember, yeah.
A little girl walked up to us. She couldn't have been more than 10 years old. She was trans. And she looked like so small in that crowd. And she handed us a piece of paper. Remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it said?
Yes, I still have it. I have it in my wallet. She had drawn it herself with crayons. It said, "Save the trans kids."
It broke me, Mark, to see a child who should be worrying about homework and cartoons. I mean, worrying about their own survival. I mean, I told her we would fight for her. I told her that we would protect her. But looking at the news this week, I have to ask you, how are we going to do that? How do we keep that promise to her?
We keep it by refusing to leave. We keep it by becoming the elder she needs us to be. The solution isn't to argue with the people who hate us. You cannot argue with a vampire. The solution is to build our own world. This is the mandate for the next 20 years. If their doctors won't treat the little girl with dignity, we build our own networks of care. We learn to heal each other. If their churches kick us out, we don't let her stand outside knocking on the door in the rain. We tell her that she is the temple, that the monad is inside her. We become her priest. In their economy tries to starve us, we hire each other. We create an empire of one. We stop looking to them for permission to exist. Their stamp of approval is worthless now.
We become the safety net.
We become the bedrock. I am an elder now. My beard is gray. I have the scars, physical and emotional, to prove I've been here. And I'm telling you, we're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
I want to speak directly to that little girl and to every young person listening right now who feels like the sky is falling. I want you to listen to me. I know you're scared. I know you feel the weight of the laws and the hate online and the parents who don't understand. I know it feels like you're being crushed, but I need you to reframe that pressure. You're not being crushed. You're being planted. You are the seeds of the next world, buried deep in the rotting soil of the old one. It's dark down there. It's heavy. It's terrifying. But that pressure is necessary. That pressure is what cracks the hard shell so the sprout can grow. They think they're burying a corpse. They forget that they were burying a seed. We are here.
Yeah.
We are the elders, and we're standing guard over the garden. Let them scream, let them pass their laws. They cannot stop the spring.
They can't. And we need to clear something up. We've talked about the high level stuff tonight. We've talked about the Gnostics, politics, the science, but now we need to talk about the street level. We need to talk about what happens when you walk out your front door. Because the average person on the street, honestly, Mark, they're confused. I mean, they turn on the TV and they see Drag Queen Story Hour. They see sparkles, they see wigs, they see performance, and they see theater. And they look at us, thanks to the media, at trans people just trying to buy groceries, and they think, oh, well, that's what they're doing. You're playing a character. You're putting on a show.
And I wanted to say that whole Drag Queen Story Hour and all these stuff, that was a plant. That was a false flag. That was the conservative right that created all these characters, and they knew exactly what they were doing.
Because there's no bearded trans ladies that go out and do drag.
None.
That's stupid.
Usually drag queens were gay men.
Yeah, they beautified.
And it was a performance.
It's an art.
We are not a performance. And let's be clear right now. We love drag. Drag is an art form. It's satire. Key West, we went to some great drag queen shows. It is beauty. It is a vital part of our history. Drag queens were the ones throwing bricks at Stonewall. But drag is a costume. It is something you put on, and it's something you do.
Exactly. A drag queen takes off the wig at the end of the night. RuPaul, for example, doesn't live like a woman. Wipes off the makeup and goes home as a different person. Me, I don't. I don't take this off. When I go to the grocery store in my sweatpants, that's me. When I'm sick with the flu, God forbid, and look terrible, that's me. And when I'm alone in my house with the curtains drawn with you, that's me. This isn't a performance. This isn't a political statement I'm making for attention. This is my life.
And that is the hardest thing for the empty human, the tears, to understand. Because they live in a world of costumes. Think about it. They wear their corporate suit costumes to work. They wear the good Christian costume suit to church. They wear the cool dad costume at the barbecue. They're always performing. So when they see us, they project that onto us. They think, oh, they must be pretending because I'm always pretending. They can't imagine what it feels like to be authentic. And those that claim to be Christian, they're putting on the good Christian. Well, in the back of their minds, they're doing things that they're fighting.
Absolutely. I mean, so many of these senators that accuse people, they're the ones that are struggling with being homosexual themselves, They're the ones who have the little guys on the side that go into their Senate offices at the midnight hour when they tell their wives that they're working on a bill.
Or they're constantly fighting their urges and their desires and then pretending that they're doing it for this God and then they really are is fearful, and they are programmed. They can't go within and understand who they truly are.
And Mark, we're going to go to that Made in God's Image video.
Let me see if I can do
You
this.
said something years ago, and that cuts right to the heart of this.
Let me see.
In 2007, you made a documentary on your own, right? With your own budget.
Mm-hmm.
It was called In God's Image. Now remember, folks, this was 2007. No one was making films like this. The word, again,
This thing just
transgender.
keeps getting smaller and
Oh my
smaller.
God.
I don't know why.
Can you
Let me see
make
here.
it bigger?
Yeah, let's see here.
Is that something?
No, I don't want to show this scenes panel.
I don't
No.
know.
I mean, it should.
I know,
Play.
but it's like really tiny.
It's not showing tiny.
No, I know it's not
here.
showing tiny.
It's showing.
Oh, I know it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
showing tiny.
But I can't see it.
Can
but
you make it bigger?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess because we have too many things going on.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's try to play this.
So no one was making these films, and you said something in that film that destroys the lifestyle
Is
argument.
it this one? No, it's this one we want, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, so let me see here. Remove. I need to add. bear with us, guys, because this is
live TV, guys, and there's only one director, and it's director Mark.
Yeah, and okay, so let me go here. Share screen. So which one is it?
The first one.
Yeah, no, but I can't tell because.
Yeah, that's
one.
it.
Okay. Okay, so let me go back here. And let me play it. No, that needs to go. I can't make it go. Okay.
You just stay as gay. What does that mean? What do you mean stay as gay? I'm not gay. I'm a transsexual, I'm a transgender. I'm just in the wrong body. That brings about so much pain, so much depression, so much suicide. To me, it would be for parents to fully understand once their kids begin to show something like this. I know it's not ideal. I know people don't want this to happen, but it does. Whether you like it or not, it happens. And it could be my child, it could be anybody's child. Get educated, get support, find out somebody that can help you deal with this. It is a huge transition. This is not something that you do so that you can be happy. This is something that you do so that you can be. By the time you're 8 weeks or so inside your mother's womb, there's certain hormones that begin to communicate, and the messages start off on the brain, and it goes down to your gonads, because at first, before the 8th week, we are what's known as undifferentiated gonads. We all have the potential to become females, but it's undifferentiated. At the time that the 8th weeks happen, message from the brain with certain hormones are going to go down to the gonads and are either going to masculinize or feminize the gonads, which are going to either convert into the vulva, the lips, the clitoris, and all the insides, the uterus, the ovaries, or masculinize it, and then the scrotum will form and the penis and so on and so forth and all the internal stuff. But then the message has to come from here, go down and say, okay, do your thing, and then come up again. Sometimes it doesn't come up all the way, or it goes up only partially. So it's definitely a biological thing. Again, it's much more complicated than this, but to make it simple, this is what happens. Message gets sent, but it doesn't get sent back up, or partially. Boom, confusion.
It took my reassignment, sir.
So, I mean, that's Dr. Gloria, Ana Gloria, and I did a lot of stuff with her back in the day. And a world of information. I mean, we're talking back in 2006, where there was hardly, but she's a sex therapist. Mm-hmm. And she was like everywhere because there wasn't enough people out there providing information. So we used to tag team. We used to do a lot of seminars together, a lot of TV shows together, really trying to educate people regarding the condition.
You know, people think we transition to be happy, like it's a hobby or something.
I know.
Like we woke up one day and said, you know, what would be fun? Being marginalized.
If we wanted to be happy, we would have picked an easier hobby. We would have taken up golf, maybe.
Right. Let's listen to what you said back then, because it wasn't about happiness. It was about something much deeper. It was about survival.
Okay, so I got to cue the other one here. There's got to be an easier way to do this.
I know.
Okay, so now, is it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so, got to start playing there.
I long for that family love. I long for my mother's affection. I long for her to look into my eyes and say, Mark, I love you, you're my son.
That these individuals are not dangerous, they're not freaks, they're not out there to get you, to pervert kids, to rape our kids, to kill you. They're loving human beings like you and I are.
We're trying to align our minds with our bodies. So what's wrong with that? Is the world going to come to an end because I get to be who I want to be? Are the skies going to open up and hail and fire going to come down? No. God created us in His image. I am the image of our Maker. There's no wrong and right answer. No two transsexuals are the same. I can only speak for myself and how I feel. We all have different journeys, and we all have different fates. This is my story. This is who I am.
So,
You know, you don't breathe air to be happy. You breathe air so you don't die. And transitioning, sometimes that is the oxygen. It is the act of existence. It is the refusal to not exist. I mean, I remember there were times before I transitioned where I would like lock myself up in the bedroom of the home, and my kids would be playing in the backyard, and I was just so tortured. I was like, there's something not right here. There's something that I have not found resolution for. You know, I mean, it was hard.
but, and here's the pain. When you fight for that existence, sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most try to stop you. They try to bargain with your soul. I remember when I was getting ready for my surgery, my top surgery and hysterectomy, it was a 7-hour procedure, both done at the same time. It was serious. And my family, they were beside themselves. It sounded like this. Let me see here. I gotta add that to the stage. Playing.
It's not playing.
It's not playing.
There you go.
Okay.
And you can pause it. 7 hours, Maritza. 7 hours on a table? You could die. I mean, you could die right there on the table.
Mom, I'm doing this. The date is set.
You canceled Christmas. The whole family's supposed to be together. You're going to go to a hospital and mutilate yourself? You're selfish. You know that? I want my sister, Maritza. I don't want a brother. I want my sister.
You never had a sister. You had a shadow.
Don't say that. You're killing her. You're killing my daughter right in front of my eyes.
I'm trying to save your child. Can't you see that? If I don't do this, if I don't get this weight off my chest, I won't be here next Christmas at all.
Please, baby, please, just wait. We accepted the girlfriends. We accepted everything else. Just remain a lesbian. Be a butch lesbian. We can handle that. Why do you have to change your body? Why do you have to become a man?
Because I'm not a lesbian, Mom. I never was. This isn't about who I love. It's about who I am. The surgery happens on Tuesday, and that decision is final. That feeling of being stitched together, that feeling of being a disappointment, that is the Frankenstein myth. The world looks at us, especially early in transition, and they see a monster. They see something unnatural.
Yeah, that's the heavy one. You can come back to us. Frankenstein, you know, I think every trans person has had that moment in front of the mirror. You look at your scars, you look at the parts that don't quite match yet, and you feel like a science experiment gone wrong. I mean, Mark, you wrote a song about this. It's called Transgender Man, and you didn't shy away from that word. You put it right smack in the middle of the chorus.
I had to, because if I didn't name the monster would own me. I wrote the song for everyone who feels like they are made of spare parts, so I gotta find it.
We want to play this song, and we want you to listen to the lyrics. If you're feeling like a monster tonight, listen to the voice. The voice is taking that pain, that lead, and is transmuting it into music, into literal gold.
People say I'm crazy, they don't understand. the kind of life I lead, trying to be a man. The ups and downs I've gone through, trying to build my world. It hasn't been that easy, not at all. You don't know how it feels inside. You don't know how much I have cried. Transgender man, living a life of seclusion. Transgender man, live in a world of illusion. Oh, transgender man. Many years have gone by, and I'm still afraid that people will not love me and see things my way. No matter what I do, it's never enough. This cross I'm carrying with us, it hurts so much. You don't know how it feels inside. You don't know how hard I have cried. Transgender man, living a life of seclusion. Transgender man, living a world of illusion. Oh, transgender man. Transgender man, oh, transgender man. Sometimes I do feel like I am Frankenstein. All these crazy doctors I have paid to try to build this man I feel inside my heart and soul. Dear God, what have I done to go through this alone? You don't know how it feels inside. You don't know how hard I have cried. Transgender man, living a life of seclusion. Transgender man, living a world of illusion. Oh, transgender man. Transgender man, yeah. Oh, transgender man. Transgender man. People think we're crazy. People think we're insane. Can they walk a mile in our shoe and realize how it feels within? Transgender man. Transgender man. Oh, transgender man. Transgender man. Transgender man. Transgender man. Transgender man. Transgender man. People say I'm crazy. They don't understand the kind of life I lead, trying to be a man. The ups and downs I've gone through, trying to build my world. It hasn't been that easy, not at all. You don't know how it feels inside. You don't know how much I have cried. Transgender man, living a life of seclusion. Transgender man, living a world of illusion. Oh, transgender man. Oh, transgender man.
Yeah, that song is an old song. I wrote it, and we've been playing it with Suno, and it's a really great tool to revamp some of the old stuff and add all sorts of flair. But it's a song that really touched deep in my heart. You know,
Yeah, it comes from a very deep place.
as most of my music.
I mean, you're a literal alchemist. I mean, you're like a person that sees a need and you want to change the outcome.
Yeah.
Like you saw me,
Yeah.
and you wanted to change my outcome.
Like I remember, I had a reporter in Florida that did the story, and we got to know each other. And then he didn't want to share the story. He didn't want to put it on the papers. He was afraid that they were going to come and bomb my business.
Oh, man.
And it's like, man, you know, you're really putting yourself out there. I mean, there's a lot of hateful people. I'm like, I have to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the type of person, I've always been, that if there's a need, I'm there. If the healer in me can't but help, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the lyric, sometimes I feel like I am Frankenstein. I mean, Mark, hearing that, it really hits hard even now. But you know, in the original story, Frankenstein's monster wasn't the villain.
No.
He was the victim.
Yeah.
He was the miracle of life that the world refused to love.
And he was a creation. The alchemist looks at Frankenstein and says, that's not a monster. That's a masterpiece. It is a being created by will, not by accident. So if you have scars, those are your seams. That is where the light gets in. That is proof that you built yourself.
So we've talked about that pain. We've talked about the monster. But now I want to talk about the cost, because the alchemist doesn't stop at the fire. The alchemist has to walk through the fire.
And the question everyone asks, the question we get in emails every day is it worth it? Is it worth losing my family? Is it worth losing my safety? Is it worth the risk?
I want to be real with you guys. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say it's easy. I literally have lost a lot. I still don't know. I have I could be a grandparent at some point in the future. I wouldn't know though. Yeah. I walked away from a house I built with my own hands. I lost contact with my blood family. My mother and I are on very fragile connection. Yeah. I have children who don't speak to me that have grown up. And sometimes people think are your friends, people you worked with and prayed with, you did life with, you ate with, you bled tears with. I mean, I remember a friend of mine, Jimmy, who lost his son to a suicide. And I was wondering why Jimmy didn't show up in Houston when we were doing a Beth Moore video production. And the guys told me that Jimmy had lost his son to suicide. And these people that you share these intimate moments with, that you're there in the trenches, that you think would like die for you, literally. Well, they turn into strangers overnight.
They don't just leave, Lynna. Sometimes they feel the need to slam the doors on your fingers.
I remember this one specific moment. It was 2014. I was barely 2 weeks into my transition, a newbie. I was fragile, and I was just trying to figure out how to even breathe. And I went to the mailbox at my new apartment, and there was a letter waiting for me from a guy that I had known for years, a close friend. I mean, my best bud. We were best friends. And I opened it expecting maybe confusion or questions, but it wasn't a letter. It was this verdict. It sounded something like this. I mean, we have this letter that I get, and I'm just like, what in the world? Why is my friend talking to me?
Okay.
So we gotta go past that, because that's when you were going for surgery and stuff. But don't go too far.
Okay.
I mean, I just thought that he was gonna say something, a question.
Okay,
yeah, there you go. You can pause that. You can pause it, because it'll leave it.
Okay.
I thought he was writing to say goodbye.
Lynna, or whatever you call yourself now, I'm writing this because I have a moral obligation to your soul. I cannot stand by and watch you mock God. You have chosen a path of destruction. You have chosen a sinful, deviant lifestyle that goes against everything we built. and because you refuse to repent, because you insist on this identity, quote unquote, I have no choice.
I'm like, you have no choice?
I am formally severing our friendship. But more than that, I'm doing what the scripture commands. I'm turning you over to Satan. I'm handing you over to the enemy for the destruction of your flesh so that your spirit might be saved on the day of the Lord. Do not contact me. Do not look for me. Consider yourself dead to us.
I'm turning you over to Satan. He literally wrote that. You can see it in the letter. It says, I am turning you over to Satan. I mean, you could play some of that. And he wrote that in black and white. He wrapped it in religious language. And he quoted the Bible. You can pause it. I mean, he acted like he was doing me a favor, but let's be honest about what that was. That was a spiritual F you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You know, that's exactly what it was. It's the ultimate arrogance to think that he has the authority to hand a human soul over to the devil like a package he doesn't want anymore.
And for the destruction of the flesh. He was wishing for me to be destroyed. He was hoping that my life would fall apart so completely that I would crawl back to them, and he wanted me to fail. And that was one of the things that I remember further in the letter. He had a story about how he and his wife were driving around a grocery store, and they saw a homeless person looking for a can of, looking for something or standing around, and she went to offer him food, and he didn't take it. And he's like, oh, you're like that homeless man who didn't have a home.
They're so arrogant. I mean, it's incredibly arrogant to think that they have such power to think, and then they're so cruel and evil. I mean, what part of Jesus is in that speech?
I'm handing you over to the devil.
I think they forget what their religion was created on what basis.
That's why I swear so many Christians wouldn't balk at the fact that the government said, you know, let's guillotine every single one of these
and the
LGBT.
And then
that's what you want. People like, you know, Matt Walsh and this other guy that looks just like him, but has that same dead-eye spirit inside of him.
And not just the LGBT, everybody that's not white and is not Christian.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's happening around the world right now.
Exactly. But you didn't fail.
No, I didn't. And that is the Alchemist secret. They can throw us into the fire to destroy us. They can turn us over to Satan, but they forget what the fire does to gold. Fire purifies. That letter didn't destroy me. It burned away the fake friendship, and it burned away my need for his approval.
You lost the people who loved the mask, but you found the people who loved the soul.
And that love, Mark, it feels different. It feels real. So anyone listening who's received a letter like that, to anyone who's been turned over by their family or their church, just let them go. They're handing you over to your freedom.
But even for us, finding that freedom required one final fire. It required us to lose each other.
Yeah, that was the hardest part. We lived this. We divorced.
Yeah.
I mean, we married and we divorced in 2019.
But we got married again.
Because you felt you had to go back.
Yeah, I did. I remember, like, was it the time when we were in Arizona?
No.
Because we divorced twice.
We divorced once.
Once, but we split up.
Yes.
Right.
So we literally, it was 2019. It was after the whole thing with Derek Bros.
Yeah.
And then 2019.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden, my Jehovah Witness upbringing, all this guilt just came on in. And I don't know. It's like something took over me, literally. Like some archon got in my brain and made me feel guilty and made me feel that I had to like go back to this thing that is
I remember. I mean, we were sitting there, and you're like, you know what? And you had grown a pretty good sized beard at that time.
I know, it was huge.
And you said, you know what? I am so tired of this beard. Can you help me cut it off?
Yeah.
Can you hold the mirror or do something? I forget what it was, and that was like, why are you doing
But
that?
all these things that happen that stem from childhood, all this guilt-ridden, all this stuff. And that's why a lot of detransitioners is like something happens in the matrix system that makes us feel this guilt-ridden feeling. And then it's like we want to destroy what we built. It's like the system wants to grab us back. But thankfully, even though I detransitioned several times, and then there was like a battle, the angel and the devil in my head, you know, that kind of thing. And luckily, the angel, which I think we're part of the angel team, they're part of the devil team, the angel won. And I was able to come back to myself, and I am stronger than ever. Have so much resolute of who I am. I've never been, even back in the day, I'm older, weaker, but I know who I am.
Yeah.
I strongly know who I am.
And I do too.
And I ask for so much forgiveness for all the damage that I might have done back in the day. But I also did a lot of good in the beginning. So I hope that people, those transgender friends of mine that were very confused by everything that was happening.
You got there were so many people that you were in contact with, and how we took a dump on so many people in the early 2015, 16.
Pathetic spirit of religiosity, pathetic spirit of Christianity.
We renounce all of it. We renounce any kind of hint of Christianity. I mean, we're not going to. We do not comply with the demiurge's wishes.
None. I mean, especially when we learn
tonight.
And that it makes so much sense. This is why, because they're following this evil demiurge that they think it's the good guy.
They do. Their own Bible says that Satan masquerades as an angel of light. You know, so back at you, Christian, when you say, you know, you think that you know who the devil is, but the devil is in your own.
So let me see if I can get this to play or do. Let me see. Go back here.
It's so crazy.
I know.
You can.
Okay, can I start it or no?
Yeah, you can start it.
Yeah, that's where it's at right here. Okay, play it. So I have to do this, Lynna. I feel called.
Called? Where, Mark?
To obedience. To get close to, let me pause it. To get close to God again. I have to put Mark down. I have to be Maritza again.
Then I'm losing you.
You aren't losing the person. I'm trying to do what is right.
I can't do this, Mark. I can't go with you. Not this time. I mean, I went back in 2016. I went back in 2017 for a time, and I did it for the kids, and I did it out of guilt. And you know what? It almost killed me.
That freaking guilt, that guilt that destroys every single ounce of every cell in your body. I know. I'm not asking you to come.
I mean, if you have to go back to find God, then who am I to tell you not to? You have to go, but I can't go. I have to stay here. I have to stay in the light that I found.
Then this is where the road splits.
Goodbye, my love. I mean, go find Jesus, I guess. And so you went back, and I stayed. Yeah, you can go back. You can pause it. But in 2020, we found each other again, and we realized that the fire didn't destroy us. It purified us.
You look different.
I look like myself.
The noise is gone. The static, I don't hear it anymore.
Well, I don't see the mask anymore, Mark. I just see the king.
And I see the queen.
We survived the fire. We didn't just survive it, right?
We became it.
Sun and moon.
Finally aligned.
That's it.
That's it. And here we are. We are the rabbis, and we have songs for the community, for the brothers and sisters still walking through the fire, for the brothers, the trans men, the kings. I wrote this song called So Real to Me, the Pinocchio song. So
that's the one.
That's the one that we're going to end with.
No, not ending. The show's not done.
Okay, so I can't play it. Yeah, this. Yeah. So I'll play that one at the end, the So Real to Me. Yeah, this one is for every guy who has ever looked in the mirror and wondered if they were a real boy. The world tells you you're fake. The world tells you you're pretending. But this song is the truth. You are meticulous. You are made by hand. You are real. And stay tuned because we're going to play that one at the end.
I mean, brothers, hear that. You are real. And now for the sisters, the queens. Mark, you wrote a song called Little Glass Princess.
Yes, I did.
And this one hits me. pretty hard because trans women, we feel so fragile sometimes. We feel like if the world hits us one more time, we're going to shatter into a million pieces.
But glass is made in fire, Lynna. Glass is sand, and that went through that furnace and came out clear. This song is for every girl who ever feels like she's about to break. You're stronger than you think. You are precious.
She sits by the window with a certain stare. Her eyes are half open, she can't bear the glare. Her life has been nothing but pain and despair. Do you know her story? 'Cause I know it well. The little glass princess, you made it your world. Those who make fun of you really don't know your story or name. Your parents have scolded 'cause you wore a dress. You sneaked in the closet to try your mother's best. And out came the lipstick, and on came the heels. You felt like a princess until you were revealed. Little glass princess, you made it your world. Those who make fun of you really don't know your story or name. Your dreams fell apart when they opened the blinds. She sits by the window with a certain stare. Her eyes are half open, she can't bear the glare. Her life has been nothing but pain and despair. Do you know her story? 'Cause I know it well. You made it your world. Those who make fun of you really don't know your story or name. Your parents scolded you because you wore a dress. You sneaked into the closet to try your mother's best. And out came the lipstick and on came the heels. You felt like a princess until you were revealed. Little glass princess, you made it your world. Those who make fun of you really don't know your story or name. Your dreams fell apart when they opened the blinds up and they called you Tom. You try to forget it, that God's been so cruel that your brain and body don't match as they should. Little glass princess, you made it your world. Those who make fun of you really don't know your story or name.
Yeah, it goes a little longer. It's a good 5 minutes and 25-second song, but you could join Patreon, and the links in the description, and you could download music. We're going to be putting a whole bunch of different things, from PDFs of things and books and stuff, and more music, and it's really a place that you could really find a lot of good information for as little as $10 a month. You know, you could, and you can support the show. You know,
Yeah,
it takes-
absolutely. I mean, we're the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
And we need each other. The brothers need the sisters, and the sisters need the brothers, because we are the Rebbies, and we are not going anywhere. We want to leave you with one last thought tonight. We started this show talking about a war, and wars are scary. Wars have casualties. Wars make you want to hide in the basement. But I want to tell you how this story ends.
They're fighting us so hard right now because they know they are losing. They are screaming because the empty humans know their time is up. And if you missed Tuesday's show, you should watch it, because we really go deep into the reset. And we talk about a lot of things that tie into the transgender witch hunt.
Yeah. Well, we are the wheat, and we are the gold. And the harvest, that's coming. So tonight we're going to close with a vow to stay, a vow to endure, a vow to be the glitch in their simulation. And we wrote this for you, for us. They told us we were monsters, stitched together in the dark. They told us we were broken and tried to snuff the spark. They called us new and modern, a trend that would not last. But they forgot to check the records of the deep and ancient past.
We are the Galli, priest of Rome. We are the two-spirit guides. We are the ones who build the bridge where the binary divides. I'm not Frankenstein. Though I have scars to show, I am the architect of self, and I'm here to grow.
To the Pinocchio who wants to be real, to the princess made of glass, this fire will not burn you. This storm will surely pass.
We are the sun and moon aligned, the gold inside the lead. We are the ones who remembered when they told us we were dead.
So let them wage their little war. Let them try to split the sea. We are the alchemists of love, and we are finally free.
We're closing tonight with a song. The world will tell you that you are fake. The world will tell you that you are pretending. But listen to these words.
You are meticulous. You are made by hand, and you are real.
For Transition Radio, I'm Mark.
And I'm Lynna. Stay ancient. Stay real.
Yep.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
And I'm sure we'll have another amazing show. Please remember to hit that notification button so you don't miss a show. Subscribe, share, support the show as whatever you can. If you can't support monetarily, share it, talk to people about it. We have a lot of really important things, and I think we're probably shadow banned. So if you put it out there and share it as much as you can, I'm sure we could reach more numbers, the message that people really need to hear. We love you guys, but remember to always love yourselves too. Stay tuned for the song. Listen through to the end. Good night, and we love you, but remember to always love yourselves too.
Shiny head reveals him.
Let me do it this way.
Yeah.
Shiny head reveals him. His nose is made of wood, and although he may not be real, his heart is made of gold. His heart is made of gold. His father did create him, meticulously so, and as real as he intended, Pinocchio was born. Pinocchio was born with a bolt and a twist and a shiny coat of paint and a hefty imagination. A boy was made that day. A boy was made that day. Father, am I a real boy? Geppetto quickly responded. As real as you can be, son. You are so real to me. You see, my friends and brothers, they know ever let someone tell you you are not the boy you are. A true man in the making, that young shining star. With a bolt and a twist and a shiny coat of paint and a hefty imagination, a boy was made that day. A boy was made that day. Father, am I a real boy? Geppetto quickly responded. As real as you can be, you are so real to me. Don't ever let someone tell you you are not the boy you are. A true man in the making, that young shining star.